All right. Welcome in. It is Wednesday night. You already know what time it is. Steve is in the full baseball mode here.
Yeah.
With his Toledo Mud Hens hat and all. It is SEC After Dark. Did you catch a foul ball?
It's Florida State League.
Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So we are three-man weaving it. That's for sure. We are.
Jeb is reenacting Burn Notice.
Jeb is reenacting Burn Notice and or Miami Vice.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Look at the viewer count right now, guys.
Yeah, our viewer camp is going out.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Everybody's rushing to their computers to get to see us. It is absolutely outstanding. Yep. You guys in the viewers, as you continue to skyrocket, why don't you jump into the chat? Tell me where you're from, all that good stuff. We are presented by DeadSoxy. If you want to support Ole Miss NIL, you can buy yourself a set of socks from DeadSoxy.com. Make sure you get the membership. It's got a whole bunch of benefits there, and you get a whole nice rack of socks, and your sock game will be impeccable. We're also presented by betonline.ag. If we make any bets on any sort of lines, they are presented by betonline.ag, your number one source for all your sports wagering needs. Betonline.ag, they have a online casino as well. So if you're into that, they've got it. So all you got to do is head to that website, betonline.ag. Make sure you enter the promo code Bleav to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline.ag, it's where the game starts.
Hey, do you know it's time to get locked on pickles? Well, Stewart's Cajun Pickles, that is. They offer a variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, even carrots and asparagus, and they are a family-owned company, homemade on the coast of Mississippi. Their Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles has been pleasing pickle lovers for over 20 years now, and they've become the South's favorite pickles. This being a small business, they strive to keep the produce fresh and local from the start. They keep the final pickle product extra crisp and crunchy. Be sure to like Stewart's Cajun Dill product on Facebook and Instagram. Try these pickles, okra, or beans today. You will not be disappointed. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, the South's favorite pickle.
Be sure to refrigerate too.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Also, the grovecollective.com/march to victory is a new campaign that the Grove Collective is putting on that you can donate to if you're an Ole Miss fan. Basically, it's a bracket style contest putting regions against each other for donations to the Ole Miss NIL Collective. Take care if you're an Ole Miss fan. If you're listening on my account, go in there wherever you are, put the promo code in there, donate, and see if your region can win. That's the grovecollective.com/march to victory.
Oh, okay. That's pretty awesome. So, yeah, South Carolina, they could be really bad.
Yeah, South Carolina has a chance to be I guess you could say the 8th team in the East, but there's not going to be an East. But they have just as good a chance to be team number 16 as anybody.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be I mean he is launching grenades in there at former coaches that are leaving. He's just I think he's over his skis now finally.
Yeah.
No Rattler. Had Jaden McGowan committed and then lost him at the last minute to go to Boston College. Mm-hmm. So things are just getting kind of strange over there.
Yeah, it's getting hairy. And I think if you look at what's going on, how do they replace Spencer Rattler? How the most important position on the field, how do you actually make that replacement? Are you going to find another walk-on quarterback from a D3 school or whatever that was? Is that going to be the storyline again? If so, South Carolina, they're not going to win many games. Now, they might beat Florida, but that's another just story altogether. But
yeah,
this South Carolina team just seems like every player that they have that's good ends up transferring out for whatever reason.
And they don't play Florida this year, so they can't guarantee that as a win.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely. And I mean, I was going through all the stuff on Locked On Vandy with how Vandy's going to win 6 games, and I came to the conclusion that South Carolina was definitely going to be one of those.
Yeah.
And I used the fact that there's just some turmoil over there. Beamer I don't think he realizes exactly what he's lost. I think all of this stuff he's trying to do is a little bit of Fugue's like false bravado type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. He does the thing like copying Steve Spurrier at a soda machine in Birmingham, and and doing stuff like that. And other than 2 wins, that if we're going to be real about it, the only 2 games that South Carolina has looked really impressive, and they're also accused of getting tips from Michigan in order to take out Tennessee and Clemson. And all of a sudden, Spencer Rattler looked absolutely unbelievable that night. I have genuine concerns that Shane Beamer can put together a solid game plan as a head coach.
I just don't. I don't think he can. I mean, it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, okay, so what's next? And then you look at it again, you're like, okay, what's next? And then it just seems like they get off to these unbelievably slow starts. They get slaughtered by Georgia every year in the week 2 game, and then they bounce back and everybody believes that they're the team, and then get to a bowl game and then just kind of fizzle out from there.
Yeah. And what is the ceiling this year for South Carolina? Corey, pull up South Carolina's schedule.
I got it pulled up already.
Yeah, I got it too. I just somehow.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, Jake, they kick off their first 3 games are Old Dominion, at Kentucky, home against LSU.
I'm not going to guarantee that Old Dominion game's an automatic win for them at this point. There ain't no way they're going to beat LSU. There's no way they're going to beat Kentucky, I don't think.
I think they go 1-2 with Kentucky being a little bit more of a toss-up than people like to believe. Have you seen what's going on there?
Yeah.
That's the fist fight in the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every locker room in the country has a fist fight at it. That one just happened to get videoed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, like that's, I was kind of half kidding with that one, but losing Liam Cohen, I think, is going to really, really sting there.
Yeah. We've already seen that movie.
Yeah. We've seen what happens. Mark Stoops, more than flirts with Texas A&M. He actually got into the bed with Texas A&M before realizing, oh crap, I want to stay loyal to Kentucky. So
we all know that didn't happen. Ross Bjork was going to hire him, and then whenever Ross Bjork went to get the final contract approval, they told him no.
Yeah. Well, even the perception of that, there's some damage. Like whether it happened or not, Kentucky fans know he was looking.
Yeah.
No, they know he was trying to get out.
Yeah, and he was.
Yeah, and you come back and you're like, hey guys, I'm back.
Yeah, seriously.
Like I love you. You complete me. Yeah, kind of that thing. Where it's like, do you really like? I mean, agent talk or no agent talk? There's some smoke there. There's some truth to that. And so that's got to take its toll. They have a brand new quarterback in Brock Vandagriff. He's super talented, came from Georgia, but we don't really know what he's going to be like as a full-time starter yet.
Right.
So there's a lot of question marks. Now, those questions could be answered, right? They could come out in the second game and just absolutely boat race South Carolina, which I don't know if that will tell us a whole lot about Kentucky or not. Probably not. They'll probably tell us more about how bad things are in Columbia otherwise. So I don't know. But I think 1-2 in that stretch. Then they have Akron, Ole Miss, and Bama. Bama on the road, Ole Miss at home, Akron obviously at home. So another 1-2 stretch. So that's 2 and
4.
2 and 4.
Yep. So I don't think either of those 2 conference games are going to be close at all.
No. And it's also at the point where they get Ole Miss and Alabama back to back, it's the point where those games can break South Carolina.
Yeah.
I think you go LSU, Akron, Ole Miss, Alabama. That's a brutal 4-game stretch.
And then
though they have a break in the middle.
Then they got to go to Oklahoma the week after Bama. So I mean,
2 straight road games at Bama, at Oklahoma, then home against Texas A&M, which is no easy feat. And then they'll be so broken by then, they'll get beat by Vandy and boat raced by Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it could be a situation by the time they play Vandy, they've already coasted to the finish line. They won it. South Carolina's in the middle of a coaching change.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, with South Carolina in a coaching change, they need to hire, or they're going to hire, I think, Jamie Chadwell.
Yeah,
that would be a phenomenal fit. Like I think, I just honestly like, and I've said it from day one with Billy Napier, and I thought Shane Beamer was a little bit different because like he has a little bit of pedigree, but they're really no different as far as like overly cheesy. You lose the locker room, you lose kind of that edge that you need. Like you're in the SEC, you don't need to be cheesy. Those guys will look straight.
Talking about LinkedIn Billy,
talking about Sunbelt Billy and LinkedIn Beamer.
Yeah,
Beamer salesman Beamer.
It was a good idea to try and get it. I just don't see any way that those two survive this year. I just don't. And for Billy Napier, he's actually not done a horrible job. The problem with Billy Napier is their collective is just garbage right now.
Yeah.
And in this era of the collective being everything, that's the one thing that you didn't need to be garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And because you can't recruit this day and age if that is garbage.
Yeah. I mean, you're at the point now. I mean, let's be real about what's going on. They're at the point where they're paying kids to visit, much less sign.
Mm-hmm.
And that's embarrassing.
Yeah. And if your collective and all that is not healthy, if you do not have a base that is healthy, you have no chance.
No.
And Florida has to deal with the bad press because they were the first school to screw up an NIL with Jaden Rashada and promised him $8 million a year, and then they didn't deliver. And now all of a sudden, everybody is recruiting against Florida saying they will not deliver.
Right. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Stacey? How goes it, man? But yeah, I just, South Carolina, they had a little bit of magic, like very, very little bit of magic, but now it's good. I just don't think it's going to be very good. And of course, the whole Spurrier thing at Florida. I mean, shit, these two teams are very much alike, and it ain't for good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you that with a fact, and that's not just because of what I'm wearing as a hoodie, because we're right now, us in Alabama are right now at the top with Ole Miss nipping at the heels, and everybody else kind of coming in. Texas.
Don't forget about Texas now.
They need to spend a year in the conference and prove that they're top dogs in the SEC, which I don't think will be very difficult for them because they're extremely good and well coached. But they still need to do it. They just need to do it. They just need to prove that they're not just a really good, superior Big 12 team. They need to prove that they belong. So does Oklahoma.
Whenever Georgia gets over there and they play Texas, I can't wait to watch that game. That'll be a primetime ABC game.
Mm-hmm.
The whole 9 yards. I mean, that should be that's going to be Texas's welcome to the SEC moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that will be. And it will either be decided that Texas is for real. And even if they lose a close, tight game, hard fought game, I would still believe in them. But, they just can't get boat raced. If they get boat raced, they'll be like, okay, well, they're cool, but they're not upper echelon yet.
Yeah, I think it was it Brad Edwards maybe at 24/7 or somebody like that put out a thing that predicted that Texas would finish 11-1, Georgia would finish 11-1, and Ole Miss would finish 11-1. And if that happened, it would just be chaos.
Mhm.
Because in that scenario, I guess it was Ole Miss losing to Georgia, Georgia losing to Texas, and Texas probably losing to Oklahoma, if you just want to be real about it, because they always do.
Yeah. So who goes? Yeah, you just kind
Yeah.
of coin, right? You I guess you go into like ranked wins, or I don't know what the tiebreakers are, but I guess you would go into like ranked wins or something like that.
Yeah, it'd probably be head to head or something like that.
So
Oh,
yeah.
How about
Yeah.
on 3 putting out the most clickbaity story in the history of clickbaity stories today?
Wait, no, they don't do that.
I didn't see
Yeah.
this.
What is it?
Chris Lowe did a story about the Nick Saban retirement thing. Everybody knows about that, but there was a quote inside that story that said Florida State was really nervous that Mike Norvell was going to go to Alabama, and they were ready to make Lane Kiffin their primary target. And it was like,
what is going on?
It's like that. Okay, I get that Lane Kiffin, his name being in a story, adds relevance to what's going on. But hey, if my wife leaves me, my number one target will be Sydney Sweeney, and I'm going to put all my effort into getting her and landing her.
Okay.
Now it doesn't matter. See, it doesn't matter that I'm going to say that because she has to say yeah, and that's the same situation with Lane Kiffin and Florida State. I don't care that he's going to be their number one target. Of course he would be. He's a good football coach, but that's the most clickbaity story in the history of clickbaity stories.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, what the hell?
I've never seen that now.
Yeah. Picking up new subscribers tonight while I'm on SEC After Dark.
Attaboy.
Yeah. We're cruising right along.
Yeah. Locked on Vandy's is rolling.
We're over 200, man.
That's awesome.
Like that's a freight train. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And you'll see once football season starts, it's really going to take off with subscribers. It is going to be a massive thing.
I hope so. And I hope I hope so. And if you know this recent surge is any indication, then I'm pretty excited about that.
The way my first year working for Locked On went is I started January 4th or something like that. And it took me until July to get 1,000 subscribers. I ended that year with over 3,000.
Nice.
So how okay, spit it out, Corey. How long did it take you to get to 300 or 200? I mean,
it took a while. Now, I had the benefit of starting in the middle of recruiting season whenever that was still a thing, and the newness of the transfer portal and stuff like that hit. Yeah. So in January, I kind of hit 200 in that first month. Nice. And then it really slowed down once you hit the doldrums of February and March because Ole Miss basketball. And then the baseball team kind of fell off a cliff that year before barely making it in the tournament and winning the national championship. And once that team got close to the national championship and got close to Omaha, all of a sudden my subscriber count started going up. And I hit 1,000 probably right before Omaha, if I'm not mistaken.
Omaha. Yeah.
Omaha.
Yeah. Hopefully the Vandy boys, hopefully they'll make a nice little run and I'll get a nice little bump there.
Yeah. I'm about 2 or 3 weeks away from being the most subscribed podcast in the Ole Miss sphere.
Nice.
Dude, Vandy just offered a 6'9" tight end.
Nice.
Good Lord.
They need to offer a quarterback to throw it to him.
Oh, they have the 2 kids from Chattanooga are the 2 signees from Chattanooga pretty damn good.
Don't get me a true freshman. Are we really about to start breaking down Vandy again?
Of course. No, they have some stuff in the pipeline, Steve. Come on. They're not starting if they start a true freshman at any point this year, it means a bunch of people got hurt.
Yeah, and let's see. Where's my boy Ken Seals at? Is he at TCU now?
He is at TCU. This guy's a freaking man-child. I don't know if it's just because he's playing Connecticut private ball, but
Casty loves my new hate.
Yeah, she meant hat.
I know.
Yeah.
Your hate's not new.
Oh well.
Toledo Mud Hens.
Toledo Mud
And once I get going, I got a hat for the Erie Seawolves. They did what they're calling a faux back hat. And see, the Seawolves were created in like the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But this logo that they designed was designed as if they'd been around since like the 30s. So it's a Seawolf thing of that. It looks pretty fantastic. And it's pretty much a red hat, but the logo's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw you you shilling that. But Cassidy, this 3 layers of fun. Steve, I love the new hate. Corey, love the hoodie. And baby, you look. It's because Jake is wearing the V-neck. He's showing a little chest hair. He's showing a little taco meat here.
See, I'm the ultimate dad tonight. I've got the black rings under my eyes. I'm just in the wife beater.
Look, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. I took the grenade of doing the yearbook this year.
Oh, okay.
And it's due Monday.
Oh. And then I guess you're not nowhere near done.
I have no idea if I'm anywhere near done because it's the first time I've ever done it. So it could be like really close to being done. We have a lot of pages that are done, but I think we still have a lot to do as well. So it's going to be a nice little sprint to the finish.
That's what I like to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna on Monday is going to turn to one of those rivals.com signing day extravaganzas where you're
fantastic. I love those.
Where you're just bunkered down, just slinging pictures in slots. You don't even know what the heck you're doing.
People just don't even realize what it was like working at rivals.com in the heyday of one signing day, that first Wednesday in February. I don't think people can even realize what type of a day that was. That was like Christmas, New Year's, and like Easter all rolled into one.
I got so there's 2 days, there's like 2 or 3 days out of the year that like we didn't dress like semi like we worked somewhere, not as a delivery person. And that was one of those days. So signing day and the first 2 days of March Madness. Like on where we dress like bums on weekdays because we're about to be there for like 14 hours. And so I'm in like I draw. It was actually March Madness. It wasn't signing day, but I drew the last morning time slot 1 year. And so my thing was, okay, whoever drew that slot had to pick up lunch. And I mean, you all paid me, so I didn't like buy lunch for everybody, but I had to pick it up. And so I'm in there. I got my ratty rivals.com t-shirt on. I'm rocking like sweatpants or like shorts or something. And some dude in the elevator jumps in. He goes, "Oh, Corky's. I didn't know you guys delivered."
Oh man.
Like, no, dude, I work on the 4th floor, man. That's hilarious.
The one thing I remember from in Nashville that we got visited at Rivals, we would occasionally get visited by people from Yahoo because we were owned by Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come over, and sometimes they would be there like in the spring. And if you've lived in the South in the spring, you realize that's tornado season.
Yep.
If you're from California, that is apparently a really scary thing, because I saw a person have a complete nervous breakdown over a tornado warning.
Huh.
We're over there by the window, like, where the hell's the tornado?
Yeah.
You got Mississippi and Georgia over here going, where's the tornado?
Where is it? Where is it?
You're missing you. You've been right there, but you've been right there in between us.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, hey, y'all need to get in the stairwell.
Nah, man, we don't see no funnel cloud.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
It's just raining out there.
It's a really good lightning show.
Hmm.
And we had these massive windows too. Like we had really good view. It was
because it was right over the lobby.
Yeah. It was right over the lobby, and then like our window, or like the window in the ping pong room, was like, and then there was like some back office that used to be customer service that when they wiped them out, that was just an empty room. That had the best windows because like you just saw out.
Mm-hmm.
There was no lobby, there was no parking lot. You just kind of saw out.
Yeah.
For like you could see a distant way in there. So that like we'd always go to that window. And you come back and be like, you got like somebody would go scout it, and then like if a tornado warning was issued, like there was no work getting done. We were by the window.
Right.
Yeah, good grief. My Twitter account, people watching on my Twitter account, I went over 100.
107 right now.
Oh boy, we're at 173. Let's see what let's see.
The Bleav In Georgia Dawgs podcast is at 8.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's a situation to where Florida and South Carolina, I can't even find myself to be interested in anything they're going to do this year because I just don't think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
No, they're not. And the most interesting thing about these two teams is going to be in November when they're doing a coaching search.
Yes. And Florida, before everybody, they're going to start every time a coaching search comes open, they name drop Lane Kiffin, whether he's a candidate or not, because he gets a ton of clicks and gets engagement for what they're doing.
Yeah.
I do know that apparently the board at the University of Florida, the trustees, they're not fans.
Yeah.
Whenever they hired Billy Napier, everybody started the Lane Kiffin train then, and he didn't even get a sniff. And now might that change with Lane Kiffin potentially making the playoff? I don't know, maybe, but I just don't know if it's likely. Now, South Carolina, like I said, I think it's Jamie Chadwell. I think Jamie Chadwell will be the head coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks come 2025.
And that would be a hell of a hire. That would be a really, really good hire. So.
Yeah, and also, Corey, real quick, y'all bring up the Florida schedule. Let's do the Florida wins and losses too.
Okay, all right.
Because I just need to hear this story.
Yes.
Because they're whoever made the schedule should be fired with cause if he's still there. I mean, it's like a Seminole that built the schedule.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
I'm here for it. Okay. All right. Stand by.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the only one on their schedule is the orange and blue game.
Oh, no, they play Sanford.
Yeah. All right. They included the orange and blue game on their schedule. Just so
they did.
They should. So that's 2.
So they open against Miami.
L.
Yeah.
Is it at Miami or is it in Gainesville?
It's in Gainesville.
It's a toss up. I don't know that Miami's really any good either. There's going to be a
Tyler Van Dyne is not there.
He's in Wisconsin.
No, wait, they've got Cam Ward now.
Yeah, they do.
Miami has Cam Ward.
Okay, so that's an L.
Yeah.
So L gets Samford.
That's W.
That's a W.
Yeah. Van Dyke's in Wisconsin, by the way.
Van Dyne.
Yeah, Van Dyne. He's up there with Phil Longo. A&M.
L.
At Mississippi State.
Maybe a win.
At Mississippi State.
Yeah. I'll say dub.
They can probably get there, but Florida's offense is bad enough to where if Mississippi State gets going with that tempo and all that, I've seen it up close and personal with Ole Miss. Mississippi State could get Florida that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a toss up, but I'm gonna say dub there.
Mm-hmm.
UCF.
L.
Yeah, I think that's probably an L because they've got who's the guy that was at Arkansas?
KJ
Jefferson.
KJ Jefferson is the quarterback.
Definitely.
And Gus Malzahn with a quarterback like that, we know what that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an L. At Tennessee.
L.
Home
against Kentucky, which I mean, if it was any other, like if it was
Kentucky's won 3 in a row, I think.
They have won 3 in a row. So make it 4.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia.
No, L.
At Texas.
L.
This is where it gets really brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Home against LSU.
L.
Home against Ole Miss.
L.
At Florida State.
L.
SEC championship.
So they have to have essentially 6 wins out of their first 7 games if they want to go to a bowl game.
They ain't bowling, dude.
No.
Yeah, it's just not happening. And I just don't know that Billy Napier can survive this.
I don't know that I don't know that they're outside of the Sanford game, if there's another win that's not a complete toss up, or they have to like play out of their minds to win.
Yeah,
I just don't see it. Like, I mean,
let's,
you know, maybe
let's go back and find their easiest games. Okay, so the last 5 games is not on there. So their easiest games, if you wanted to rank them, their easiest game is Sanford. So let's move that over to the side.
Their easiest game outside of Sanford is Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Then
maybe Kentucky.
Then Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Miami.
No. Then UCF. I just don't think UCF.
I think UCF would beat Miami.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Miami, then UCF. Which there's like a razor's edge difference between those two teams to me.
Yeah, and they don't get Vandy.
Yeah, they don't get Vandy. They don't get South Carolina.
Yeah.
They don't
get Arkansas.
They don't get Arkansas.
They don't get Auburn.
They don't get Auburn. Yeah, this is going to be a brutal season for old Sunbelt Billy. And he said, yeah, anybody can beat us in the press conference.
Yeah.
I don't
and
like
they
that.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, let's see. Miami, Sanford, A&M, Mississippi State, UCF. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's 2 and 3 at best case scenario.
So the question is, let's say Florida wins 4 games. Just 4 games. How does Florida get to 4 games?
Okay, they get to 4 games by beating Sanford, State, Miami, and Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
That's their path to 4.
Yep.
Then they have to play a perfect game against UCF and A&M to get to 5 or 6.
Yep.
And then they're going to get slaughtered by everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, they have to literally start 6-1 to have a chance to go to a bowl game.
That is not going to happen.
No,
yeah,
not going to happen. I could see A&M boat racing them. I mean, as much as we hate A&M, like I don't know how much longer we can really make fun of them because they got a legitimate coach now. But
we can always make fun of Texas 8-4. Always.
Yeah.
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah. They always have had big name coaches and all that, and they always seem to go 8-4.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. That is very true. So, follow Macho Man's advice up behind me. The cream will rise.
Yeah.
Top. Oh yeah. Cream of the crop. Oh yeah.
Randy.
I've got the Ole Miss Memphis game on TV right now. And Jackson Ross, my boy from Lakeland, Florida, just hit a double, RBI double.
Nice. Corb's got his 1,000th win last night.
Oh, by the way, I did not realize this, but I was watching Ole Miss lose the basketball game last night to the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia has a basketball player from Winter Haven, Florida, which is where I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty cool.
You should have covered him. Should have been like, hey, man, I want to cover you.
No.
Just kidding. Georgia is up 2-0 on Stetson.
I like Stetson's the Hatters.
Yeah. Charlie Condon, dude, he's a freaking dude. Georgia is on a freaking roll. They're on a tear, dude.
Charlie Condon, if I'm not mistaken, is I think they said he has 70 power or something like that.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
Yeah.
The now update is the last update I've seen is bottom 6. Georgia's up 10-4 on the Hatters. Colby Branch hit a grand salami.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Vandy played last night. Vandy, who does Ole Miss open the conference season with?
South Carolina, South Kakalaki.
Oh. Georgia opens up
And then they have Tennessee and a crazy person.
Yeah. Vandy opens up with Auburn.
Okay.
With Auburn. And then Georgia opens up, I Bleav, with Kentucky.
Which Kentucky's like low-key good. That's the weird thing.
They're oddly good.
Yeah.
They open up with Kentucky in Lexington. They play next week. They have a midweek game against Iowa, which I don't know if you saw. There was some controversy in the Iowa-Michigan game where Michigan cheated. Guy was like rubbing Vaseline on the ball.
Yeah, Ole Miss just played Iowa, by the way.
Yeah, Iowa's good, dude.
Well, no, they're not. They're not. They can hit the ball all right, and their starting pitcher's good. Their bullpen looks like they practice without a strike zone.
That can be trouble. I didn't see their bullpen.
Yeah, their bullpen is one of the worst I've ever seen.
That's good for Georgia. But they got a tune-up series with Northern Colorado, and then they're in the conference league. They go Kentucky, Bama, with Wofford sandwiched in there, and then Tennessee. They play Ole Miss in mid-April.
Okay.
And then Vandy on May 3rd. They play in Athens in the Hoover Met. So, yeah, no, Vandy's rolling.
No, Vandy in baseball is one thing. I was talking with Zach the other day, honestly, about your show, and I'm just really curious to what baseball is going to do to the Vanderbilt fan base.
So, baseball, it's weird, Steve. So, here's the thing with baseball. Everybody loves it, but they don't want to listen to baseball talk.
Yeah, they don't click on it.
It's the weirdest thing. Like, I led with baseball. Look, I'll give you my numbers, okay? So yesterday's show, I led with baseball, 37 views. The day before, I led with quarterback situation. The quarterback situation, however it unfolds, will propel Vanderbilt football to a bowl game. 88 views.
Mm-hmm.
I was bullshitting. There goes a clean rating about the quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm. Quarterback spell, man.
Langston Patterson got 83 views.
Mm-hmm.
I did a first segment against Langston Patterson, and then the rest was Vandy baseball. But like every time I led with Vandy football, it went over 100. The last time before yesterday's episode I led with baseball was February 26th, and that got 59 views.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm leading with Ole Miss hiring Zach Arnett.
That's awesome.
And the headline or the cold open that I did before my show, the first thing is Mississippi State hired a former offensive coordinator to be their head coach. Ole Miss just hired a former Mississippi State head coach to be an analyst. We are not the same.
Oh my God.
That's so good.
All right. As acting producers, give me a storyline for Vandy that you want to know about. I've talked about how they're going to stop people, so don't give me that one.
Well, here's the question with Vandy. When is spring practice? First of all,
they haven't announced dates yet. It's coming soon, though.
They did with us. It's like, hey, tomorrow we're starting spring, and nobody knew anything about it.
We started a few days ago.
Yeah, that's probably where Vandy's at too. I don't think they've announced. It's crazy. They've announced the media days, but they haven't announced anything else.
How about the trenches for Vandy this year?
Ooh, okay.
Talk about that.
Yeah, trenches don't sell. If you're looking for something to get some views, like let's do a Friday type show for Vanderbilt.
Okay. All right.
You need to find something that is very clickable. So quarterbacks would fit the bill.
Yeah.
So go why I think Diego Pavia is going to be the ultimate winner of this quarterback competition, and just let that marinate over the weekend, and then talk about why Diego Pavia's moxie and all of this is going to give him an advantage over the Utah kid.
I've kind of done that one. Oh, I can do it again.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to be willing to do some stuff again.
Yeah. Especially with Vandy.
Figure out a way that you to say it and formulate it that's a little bit different, but I think they said that.
Oh, here we go. This was like buried down in the. All right, so they start March 10th. They start practices, and then they resume the 20th. They do spring break. So hold on, Commodores. The black and gold game's the 8th. Commodores will hold 5 practices before spring break begins on March 10th. Once classes resume, practice continues March 21st, runs through April 8th.
Okay. So do a surprises of spring. Football players that spring's important to. Just start going through that list.
Okay. So spring storylines. So this will be Thursday. And then
and by the way, Ole Miss should sign Robbie Avila.
Okay.
They need to find a way NIL to get him on campus. He's the kid from Indiana State that you see on Twitter that they call him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Larry Blurred.
Yeah.
Word.
It's just people can be clever. They can be clever.
That is very good. That is very, very good. Vanderbilt spring roster. Here we go. Here's some storylines. This was posted in January. Quarterback wait and see. Running back, wide receiver downgrade, offensive line. When I met with the what's his name, Jarvis and I forget her, Allie, they told me like I could talk about anything as long as I revert it, as long as I connect it to the main thing. So if I talk offensive line, I've got to connect it to the main thing. Like why the offensive line is geared more towards Pavia or Nate Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, because both of those guys are running quarterbacks. So, but they run very different styles.
Yeah, do an episode on Friday of why which quarterback actually fits the personnel around them better. Whenever they're going to get the offense and let it fit, which one actually has the personnel fit to do it? Because Mike Wright and AJ Swan, everybody said would say AJ Swan was a more talented quarterback. Mike Wright was the better fit for the personnel around Vanderbilt.
Yeah, and the coordinator was a better fit for Swan. The personnel was a better fit for Mike Wright. Thus, you had a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Could Vandy potentially play a 2-quarterback system this year?
They could. I don't know that it'd be wise, but they could.
Yeah.
It's all going to depend on it really is going to depend on what the offensive line can do. Like if the offensive line is really good at gap schemes, pinning and pulling and things like that, and they can run downhill, Pavia's the dude. But if they have to get on the edge, it's Nate Johnson. And Nate Johnson will be able to feed Jeremiah Dillon on deep balls.
And who is the running back?
It's
and now if it was Ray Davis, you could outside zone, and there's a lot of stuff you could do in the offensive scheme to where the offense would be much more effective. But Ray Davis isn't walking through that door.
No, it's going to be Cedric Alexander and AJ Newberry, which they're good, but they're not. We just don't know.
Yeah.
They have a lot of guys that we just don't know about. And the offensive line, they lost Julian Hernandez and Bradley Ashmore. They got the state kid, and then they've got a lot of guys with the new coach that just we know nothing about.
And I hope everybody is appreciative, because you're not going to get breakdowns of the number 14, number 15, and number 16 teams in the SEC like you are on this show tonight.
We are all. If you ever accuse us of being non-inclusive,
Yeah,
We are
good
inclusive.
grief. We're sitting here talking about Nate Johnson and Diego Pavia, like legitimately doing it.
Well, Diego Pavia beat Auburn, so
Yeah.
he's definitely not the worst quarterback in the SEC.
Is
So-
Jeb writing the
All right, John.
Now Jeb is in Miami, going down and hanging out in South Beach and hitting the bars down in. Don't let anybody around Jeb and say he's doing anything but having fun going out in Miami right now.
Yeah.
With
Oh yeah,
friends.
he's drinking. He's drinking Palomas at some South Beach club.
Oh, it's probably, I'm telling you, it's mojitos. He's got the shirt on like Sam Axe, and he's recreating Burn Notice.
Sure. So he's a mojito guy.
Great show.
Well, and whenever you're in Miami, yeah.
SEC After Dark is a DEI show. I want to go. Yeah.
Well, there's only 16 teams, so we can't be too DEI.
Yeah. Screw Wake Forest. We're not
We
talking
are
about
not going to talk about Northwestern. A.
No Gophers.
Well, now don't you know?
Oh, don't you know we rolled the boat up here? Don't you know?
Well, we do
John
talk about
coming in at the end. Eh?
we do talk about what did Becky call Notre Dame the
Pumpkin Spice Brigade.
Yeah, the
we do
Pumpkin
talk about-
Spice Brigade.
Yeah,
we
we
pick
do
random games.
right.
Who was Notre Dame playing that week anyway?
Oh, that would have been the early game. So who
That
did
was
they play
Navy?
in Ireland? Yeah, maybe.
Navy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing Becky's probably ever said.
That was
Yeah.
great.
The funniest thing was her saying, if Ed Reed comes anywhere near where y'all live, it's over for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which is weird because he probably does.
Yeah. He definitely lives in Miami.
Yeah.
He's probably partying with Jeb right now.
Oh
Yeah,
man. That was pretty
seriously.
I think he's is he still like the chief of staff at Miami?
No, I don't think so.
He
But
was
Jeb, his hotel was like right outside of Coral Gables, and that's because I told him not to stay in Coral Gables because
cool.
I told him he couldn't afford it.
Oh boy. All right, let's
Yeah.
look at Ed Reed. Let's see what he's doing nowadays. All right, Ed Reed. He is. I don't think he's doing anything. Had a really brief run at Bethune-Cookman as the head coach. He walked in, saw the facility, said, "Hell no!"
Yeah.
and walked out. What?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you want to do it, and then whenever you get in there and see what's going on, you're like, I don't know if I can do what Prime did at Jackson State
He's like, "Yes, I'm not built for this."
or Eddie George at Tennessee State.
Yeah, Eddie George definitely walked into a situation that I've actually when I worked for this organization called the National Playmakers Academy. It was like this. It's like this high school recruiting scheme deal that I worked at for like a year, doing camps and stuff like mini camps. And we did a lot of work at TSU. Their indoor facility is like it's so bad, and they do nothing to the like. You have to press the turf every year. I don't know if people know this about artificial turf. You have to press it at least once a year, if not like once a month. You get these big rollers and you just press it down and compact the rubber pellets.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do that, it's like running on the beach. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
But that's TSU's indoor facility. It's like a beach, but it's turf.
Man.
It's bad. And their stadium is dilapidated. And welcome to TSU.
Don't they
After
play
Dark.
at Nissan?
They play big games at Nissan. No, they have a they do their homecoming and they play a couple of games a year at their on campus stadium.
Okay.
Like they do their big homecoming on campus because it's like everything except the football game is a huge deal.
Okay.
Like homecoming, the halftime show, the tailgates, the after parties. The football game is just an excuse to
The after party.
It's an excuse to kill 3 hours. it's just a means to like it's like a noon game too. So they're like, okay, let's get the football game over with.
Yeah.
And let's get to halftime as quickly as possible so we can see the band. That's how that works. You guys don't know. It's a crazy thing. So, have you seen the training facility at Northwestern built on the lake near their campus? It's amazing.
I have not seen it, but I just looked at it and it looks sweet.
Yeah, they decided. They all of a sudden decided that, hey, we're going to be a smart school and take football seriously.
Have y'all seen the Ole Miss facility, the new one that got redone?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, basically, everything that used to be my world whenever I was there is gone. It's completely been redone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So get this. I'm reading an article on Football Scoop. Speaking of Northwestern, they're exploring options of like unique setups to keep home field advantage during their construction of their stadium renovations. So they have they're exploring a setup similar to the 16th hole at the Waste Management Open.
Oh wow!
I don't know what that means.
Okay, do you know? All right, the Waste Management Open, the 16th hole, it's the stadium hole, right? Mm-hmm. So you like this is like people. This is like one of the biggest non-major golf tournaments of the year because it's just a drunk fest, and it's the only hole in any tournament throughout the entire sport of golf, throughout the entire calendar. They play this one hole, and it's like a stadium. Like people are booing, they're cheering, they're making noise, it's like an actual like football game.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the loudest hole in golf, as they coined it.
Yeah. Like they had to shut down alcohol sales for the weekend because it got too crazy.
Okay.
At a golfing event. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's borderline like WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And the golfers, or a lot of the golfers, love it.
Probably not Shooter though.
Shooter would hate it, dude. These facilities. I don't know. Did you look at the Darren Rovell tweet, Jake?
Mm.
There's something here that if they build this, that's nice.
I just looked at it on sbnation.com.
Gotcha. All right, welcome to Northwestern After Dark.
Yeah, even though we said
the Memphis pitcher just threw back-to-back wild pitches.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so what was a runner on first is now a runner on third with no out.
Welcome to early season college baseball.
Yeah, like early season midweek college baseball.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is people think that college baseball is closer to high school baseball than it is to MLB, even at the SEC level. Like you see some stuff that would happen. You're like, what in the high school baseball is that crap?
Yeah, like Ole Miss had a runner that would play in a midweek game. He got picked off, but he made it to second base.
Mm-hmm.
But he ended up scoring.
Oh wow!
Because they threw it everywhere except for where it was supposed to go.
Yeah, and there was no errors or nothing like that, and the ball never left the infield, and he ended up scoring.
Vandy won on a walk off because and against, I think it was against FAU, their first walk off win. It was the first game of the season actually. They won in a walk off because the Jonathan Vastine, the shortstop, sliced a pop fly down the left field line. Like it was short enough to where the third baseman and the shortstop could have gotten to it, and it was deep enough to where the left fielder had a chance at it. They did the triangle of death, where they all just stopped and stared at each other. Ball landed right between them.
Oh, that's how Arkansas didn't win a national championship.
Yeah. And Vandy wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like that thing. Like that kind of stuff. We're like, dude advanced like 2 bases on a pass ball.
Yeah.
Like that stuff never happens in Major League Baseball. I don't know, like rookie ball, Class A ball, if that stuff happens. Steve, you probably know if you've seen one game, you've seen double the amount I've seen.
I've seen some Lakeland Flying Tigers baseball,
and
it can be pretty rough. But they are professional to the point where I think it is a higher level of baseball than college baseball.
Yeah.
Like I was down there watching the Lakeland Flying Tigers. The shortstop in that game was Peyton Graham, who was the shortstop at Oklahoma that hit 20 home runs or something. He's a good player, and you see them know it more situationally what they're supposed to do. In college baseball, there's just a chance that just chaos can happen.
Mm-hmm. That's why no lead is safe.
Mm-hmm.
Like Vandy on Sunday beat Texas. They were down 11-3 in like the 4th or 5th inning, and they came back and won.
Wow.
Texas just completely fell apart. Texas just gave up bombs, dude. Like they didn't really make any errors. They didn't really walk a ton of people. They just all of a sudden were just grooving fastballs in there, and Vandy was just crushing.
Yeah. And
Vandy crushed a super regional team from last year in the Sycamores.
You know, Texas is kind of used to losing to Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All-time losing record in football. Texas.
So when we beat when Vandy beats Texas in football, can they chant just like baseball?
I think they should chant SEC. That would be absolutely hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
All 12 of them. The construction workers on the bulldozers.
Hmm. My favorite thing is they like Vandy won a game and the students rushed the field, and it was like they ran onto the field in single file. It was like the most orderly thing ever.
The most polite, orderly field rushing of all time.
Yeah.
The SEC's like, we'll give you a bonus for rushing the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SEC's like they're slowly coming down the stairs. It's like, what is going on here?
The SEC's like, Vandy, you can find us. Just run.
Yeah, we're about to get out of here tonight, but we got over 225 watching right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. So all you 226 people that are on the live stream right now, be a friend, tell a friend, spread the word, and let's get this thing going, man. You have a small business out there, and you want to be on the ticker, or Steve can put you in on one of these bricks here below us. Don't be shy. Reach out. We'd love to talk about you. Like Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles was not shy. I'd never heard of them before now, but they said, you know what? Hey, this is an avenue that I want to get to. You know, DeadSoxy, same thing. They're like, man, this is the avenue I want to get to. I want to get to the After Dark channel. That's their goal.
And because of their advertisement, I know a lot of people who's gotten some dill pickles from Stewart's Cajun. So
yeah. Now, if I refrigerate mine, I would have enjoyed them a lot longer.
Right.
You know, me having, yeah.
So Austin Simmons is getting ready to pitch right now for Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
He this morning practiced quarterback for Ole Miss football, and now he's pitching in the baseball game.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Sounds like Dion. Nerdy rush all the time.
Yeah. He is he's a chance to be really, really special for Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
He's 2 plus 3 inches.
Oh, all right.
I just hope he ain't injury prone like Tua was.
Yeah, he's like 6'4", 215 right now.
Got my 8-bit Joe Burrow socks from DeadSoxy.
Nice.
Yeah, okay.
John's ordering from sites called Dead Sexy. Kind of sock.
Yeah.
Sexy.
All right, Corey, 2 minutes.
All right, John. I see what you're trying to work with here. Okay. All right. So anyway, all right. All 225 of you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining in the show today. This is for a early March show. This is absolutely incredible. So thank you for tuning in. Come back and bring a friend with you next time. I promise you, we will welcome you. If you want to find us on social media, right down there on the scroll, you can catch us here every Wednesday, 9 Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. If you want to catch more of Stephen Willis, you catch him on Locked On Ole Miss. Every day, every minute, he's everywhere, all the time. He's Mr. Unlimited. Russell Wilson stole that from him, actually. So if you want to find more of Jake Thomas, Tide Talk Live, him and Stacey Blackwood do a phenomenal job with that show. If there's any Alabama content that I ever want to listen to, it's them and them only. Them and Mega Skeet 420. He's a gem. So if you want to catch more of me, which you might be a glutton for punishment, but I cover more of a variety of things. I'm Locked On Vandy every day. I'm Bleav In Georgia Dawgs once a week at this moment. That's going to change here in a little bit. I'm going to change the model and how I do that. I'm also Illegal Motion during the season. Not sure I'm going to fit it all in, but we'll figure it out. But I'm a little bit of everywhere, talking about a little bit of everything. I'm kind of more of the potpourri. Steve is more of the blanket coverage of Ole Miss. So if you want to catch Jeb, well,
here,
you're going to catch him here. So, or catch him on South Beach tonight. So anyway, but we are SEC After Dark, presented by Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles and DeadSoxy and BetOnline.ag and Your Name Later. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful week and weekend, and we'll see you back here next week. Back better than ever. It is SEC After Dark on the After Dark channel. So long. See you later. Go Dogs and anchor down.
Hotty toddy.
Roll Tide.